No mai, hara mai, kia ora koutou, and welcome to another episode of AR Plus Bay Chat. Welcome to you all on this warm Friday afternoon, and welcome into the studio, Jess Waldron, the new Women and Girls Participation Manager. Kia ora, Jess, and welcome.
Hello, Marcus.
Hey, you started your role earlier this week. How are you finding your groove into the office and into your new role?
Oh, it doesn't feel too different. Pretty used to being in the office anyway, so doesn't feel too bad.
You've come off the height of being pretty much a full-time activator. Are you still doing some activator role and getting out and seeing the kids in the primary schools?
Yes, doing half and half. So half in the office and half out with the kids. So it's quite a nice balance.
Nice, good work. Hey, can you just tell our audience all about what a Women and Girls Participation Manager is going to get up to?
Yes, so the main aim is to grow, obviously, the participation in women and girls sports and create new initiatives to do that. We've actually just in the pipeline, we have a new initiative coming up, and it's going to be an under 18, under 16 girls competition, 15 aside to get the girls prepped for rep campaigns. And so schools, clubs, and organisations are going to be welcome to enter a team into it. So you don't have to be affiliated with a club as such. It can be a school, or maybe just you have a load of mates and you want to make a team. So you can create a team. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're just trying to break down the barriers within the women's and girls rugby space so they can play 15. So the difference between women's and girls is a bit less. So yeah.
Nice. So you're going to be a busy girl over the next few months coming up. Hey,
Yes.
what else? Let's just learn a little bit more about Jess Waldron. You're obviously from England. You spent a bit of time in Canada. Do you play rugby yourself? Where do you play your rugby?
Yes, I do. I play for the Mount Maunganui Marlins women's team. I've been there. I was there last season, and so yeah, this is my second season with them.
Cool. What position do you play, Jess?
I play first 5.
Nice. And I'm sure you kick a few goals too, being a 10.
Yeah, give it a go.
Good work. All right. Other activities that have been happening around the Bay, other than Club Rugby, the Mount Maunganui 4 Square Secondary Schools Rugby kicked off a couple of weeks ago. Rugby being played on Friday nights, Saturday mornings, Mondays. The girls play on Mondays, which will be an interest of yours there, Jess.
Yes.
We've got some photos of some night games that happened last week in Katikati, which is quite cool. Katikati have some pretty neat lights out at their ground at Moore Park, which showed the Katikati under 16s taking on Te Taumata in the opening Friday night, which looked pretty cool there. And yeah, I believe they've got another game there on tonight under lights as well. So if you're not up to much, get to Moore Park, and I think it's Tauranga Boys taking on Katikati College under 16s there at Moore Park. Girls rugby's kicked off. They're, I think, 2 weeks down. How do you think that's going, Jess, from James Henderson's point of view?
I think it seems like it's going well. I don't think there's been any defaults yet, which is probably a positive. Yeah. Just tennis sides, so it's good to get the girls running around mainly.
And James is telling me there's 9 senior girls playing, 9 senior girls teams, not just 9 senior girls, 9 senior girls teams running around on Monday, which is pretty good effort there. 9 teams. If you get 10 to 12 girls, that's over 100 girls playing rugby in the senior competition.
Yeah,
sweet.
That's pretty good going.
And then, of course, Saturday morning sees all other grades, 14s and first and second 15s running around in the Mount Maunganui 4 Square Secondary Schools Rugby. So get out to your local high school and support the boys and girls out there running around. Earlier in the week, we made some trips around Bay of Plenty, visiting schools, promoting tackle 5s. Jess, you and I and Keisha took our roadie away down the east coast to Whangaparoa. It was an awesome visit down there to see the kids, 4 hours in the ute. There you are, you and Keish, which was quite a cool journey. Do you want to just talk us through some of your highlights of heading away down to Whangaparoa, to the kura down there?
Yeah, it was a cool experience. I obviously probably wouldn't have travelled there before without rugby. So the furthest I've been down that way is probably a Portuguese. So it's cool to go a bit further, see how really rural it is down there, because it's nothing quite like that in England. So it was lovely to experience something else. And the reception from the school and the kids was insane. So we got fed some lunch, we got catered to very lovely, and the kids, they were just like these, just so excited and so engaged in the rugby. So that was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it was, and quite emotional when they did a bit of a waiata for us out on the field to farewell us. Was pretty cool. And it was also the pretty much last day for our mate Keisha Church, who signed off. I think that trip there for her was probably a big one, but for us to say farewell, haere rā, to our good mate Keisha, who's been with us as an activator for 2 years, sorely missed. She's a great deliverer on the grass. So, some big shoes, and we'll have to try and find someone else to fill that hole. But in the meantime, it's your nice just to keep up that good work out there in schools. We also got to, as you mentioned, Opotiki. We stopped there on the way home, delivered a tackle clinic there to the Junior Rugby Club. I think we counted up 60-odd kids there. So good work to Opotiki for getting the kids out and getting through that tackle clinic. And a lot of girls there too, Jess.
Yeah, there's a lot of girls. It's pretty cool to see that everyone's getting involved in it.
And then the next day, we headed over to Rotorua to Whakarewarewa, again delivering to some of the clubs there. So it was cool to get out there and deliver that. And then yesterday, we had activators out and about. I got to Matata School, and it was pretty cool to get to Matata Public School and deliver a tackle clinic there, getting ready for Tackle Fives. Our first Tackle Fives tournament is less than 2 weeks away at Neil Hunt Park in Rotorua for the Central Bay qualifier, which we're really getting prepped for and getting ready for that. But in the meantime, we still have a number of school visits, which I believe you've got one this afternoon, Jess.
Yes, off to Gate Pa in Tauranga.
Cool. Good luck for that one. All right. And also, Junior Rugby's kicked off across the Bay. Central Bay got postponed last week. Sadly, they didn't quite get off the ground. Eastern Bay and Western Bay are all well and truly into their work as well. So great to see all our kids right across from Ripper up to under 13s out there doing it Saturday morning in the frost. So good luck to all those young teams out there playing right across the Bay, Eastern, Central and Western. Hopefully Central Bay can get out on the grass and get their season kicked off. Let's kick it back to last Saturday and have a look at some results. Starting with the Baywide Premier Men's. Here we go. Te Puke, huge win there, defeating Rangatawa 81 points to 5. Whakarewarewa, they continue their good form unbeaten, defeating Te Puna 38-29. I said this was our game of the week, and it didn't disappoint. And Tauranga Sports, they went down to the Mount 27 points to 33, and Greta Marist had the bye. So some interesting results there, Jess. 2 games that were quite close and 1 game that's blown out a little bit.
Yeah.
On the points table there, Whakarewarewa, they are the leaders after the first round on 29 points. Te Puke on 26, Te Puna on 18, Greta Marist on 17, Tauranga Sports on 12, Mount Maunganui on 11, and Rangatawa finished the first round with no wins. I'm not sure if there's a trophy for the first round, but if there was one, and there probably should be one, as most rugby unions do have a first round winner, that would go to Whakarewarewa. So congratulations, Whakarewarewa. I'm going to give you a virtual trophy as the first round winners of the Baywide Premier Men's. Let's take a look at the top point scorers there. Jesse Mason Grant he is in second there to Declan Barnett, who's on 11 from Te Puke Pirates. Regan Arson on 9. Vera Ali on 6. And then as you can see down there, we've got a new name in there, Colino Gonabalu from Te Puke Pirates. He's made his name in there on 5. The ever impressive Fletcher Carpenter, Craig Taingranga. We've also got Bene Kumiroa, the Steamers prop. He's making some movements, scoring some tries. And to round out the top try scorers, Gretton Maris, Raymond Collier. And as we can see, the top point scorers are Fletcher Carpenter. What a man. He's only played, I think, just off the top of my head, 3 or 4 matches. And he's already 74 points deep. He's been knocking on 100 points before we even know it. Another good player there, Declan Barnett. He's scoring them all with tries on 65. Ruben Vipor, most of those points are all off the kicking tee. You as a goal kicker will reflect with that. That's a pretty good effort after 6 rounds of footy. And then, of course, Junior Matotea, our early front runner from Greta Marist on 57. And then we work our way down the table there. Very Ali scoring tries. And then we get to the bottom of the top of the point scorers there. Tiahi Toma from Tapuna. They're on 25. So good work. This week's AR Plus Men's Player of the Week has gone to Ruben Vipor. He kicked a heap of penalties last week, kicked a heap of conversions as well. He's in fine form off the kicking tee. So congratulations. This week's AR Plus Baywide Men's Player of the Week goes to Ruben Vipor out of Whakarewarewa. Well done, Ruben. Right, let's take a look at the next lot of games that were played earlier on Saturday. The Baywide Development Men's, the Mount getting a big win there over Tauranga Sports, 55 points to 14. Tapuna knocking over Whakarewarewa to give them their first loss of the season, 31-19. Te Puke, big win over Rangatawa, 40-24. And, of course, Greta Marist had the bye. And the points table there, that was the battle of the first round. Tapuna taking that one out, 30 points. Whakarewarewa 25, Mount 16, Te Puke 12, Tauranga 10, Greta Maris 10, and Rangatawa, they have 7. So, again, if there was a trophy for the first round winner of that one, it would be heading to Maramatanga Park. I salute you, Tapuna. In the Baywide Colts there, a big win for Te Puke on the road, defeating Taupo 76 points to 19. The Mount Colts getting a big win there at Papamā 65 to 14. No result came through the act for Tauranga versus Te Teko. And Gretton Maris getting the dub over their Rotorua Maris side in the Battle of the Maris Clubs, 31 points to 14. In the Western Bay Senior Men's Competition, some good battles here. This was the battle at the top of the table. Rangiuru getting the wood on Arataki, 20 points to 12. Katikati Stags got a big win over Papamā, 47-7 on the road. And Eastern Districts at home at Paingaroa getting the win over Judea Matakana by 35 points to 17. And over to the Central there. Rotoiti getting a win over their fellow rivals Nongopaha, 25-22. Waikiti getting the win over Eastern Pirates, 25-12 at Neil Hunt Park. And Marist at home at the Vatican getting the win over local city club Kaukura, 35 points to 24. Murupara having the weekend off. Eastern Bay Plenty, Te Teko getting the win over Opotiki, 23 points to 14. Ruatoki in a close loss to Waimana, 38-36. Purupuru in a big scoring match here, defeating Edgecombe at home, 43-31. And Matata at home, defeating Paroa, 29-21. And into the Eastern Premier men there, Whakatane Maris in the local derby match in Whakatane, drawing with the Whekia Paroa, 32-all. Opotiki continues their fine run, getting a big win over Te Teko, 84 points to 0. And Ruatoki, they are hot and cold in this comp at the moment. This last week was hot, getting the win over Tāne Atua at home at Ruatoki by 42 points to 26. Puropuro had the weekend off. And we'll hand it over to Jess, and she can rattle off our women's results there.
Championship women's, Opotiki taking the win, 51-12 against Girton Marist. No score on the app for Kahu Pirates versus Tapuki, so remain a mystery. Waimana women winning 43-17 over Arataki, and then Waka coming in with the win against Tupuna, 28-5. And the Premier women. So close game between Rangatawa and Tongariro. Rangatawa just coming out on top with what I believe was a last-minute try.
Oh, yeah.
The Mount, we just about won 53-31. That score does not reflect the game. It was a very close game. And Poroporo unfortunately had to default, so Nongataha won that one by default this week.
Nice. And let's take a look at some of the top try scorers. Jess, you're not quite into this graph yet, but hopefully the opportunity will arise. Jade Wharimate, she had the weekend off. She's still sitting there on 5 tries. She's equal with Olivia Richardson from Rangatawa, Sapphire Williams on 4 with Asher James from your club. And this one, Patrice Vincent. You noted her to me earlier in the week, scoring a hat trick of tries. So good work by Patrice Vincent. And then into a flurry of 2s, Jessie Wharikura, Hope Parata King from Nongataha on 2, Kira Hewitt on 2 from Nongataha, and Order Williams from Tongariro on 2. Jess, do you want to just talk us through the top point scorers?
Yes, so at the top, similar from the tries, Jade and Liv on a joint from Nongataha and Rangatawa. Hope Parata Kingi, she's on 24, close behind. Sapphire Williams from Rangatawa on 22, and then Asher James from the Mount on 20 points.
Cool. And this week, player of the week for the Baywide Women's goes to Patrice Vincent from the Mount. Now, you know this girl, she's your teammate. Do you want to talk us through where she plays and how well she played last week, Jess?
Yeah, she's pretty new. She's new to our team this year. I'm unsure if she's played much rugby before, so she's pretty new. She's just very, very quick. You cannot catch her. She scored 3 tries. She plays on the wing, so just good a finisher to have on the team. But unfortunately, she won't be out there this weekend. She has a concussion, so it's a bit annoying, but it's what it is. Got to protect the brain, hey?
Yeah, good call there on the concussion. Well done, Jess, and well done to Patrice from the Mount Marlins. This week's AR Plus Women's Player of the Week with a Hattie last week. Jess, we're out doing a bit of tackle 5s work in the schools. How exciting has this been? We've all been busy and some long hours on the road. How have you found it?
It's been great. It's cool to see some schools you get given the 10 kids who think they know it all and know how to tackle it, and then they still give it a go, take a learning from it. And then some schools you get the whole year group, and you just got to work with what you've got and try and teach some kids to tackle safely. So it's cool to watch them progress, and it'll be cool to see it come to light in the tournament in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, cool. What I've enjoyed too is seeing a mixture of kids that haven't played rugby before, and within 45 minutes to an hour, they're tackling like they've tackled for the last couple of years. So that's what I've enjoyed seeing, is they pick up from us really quickly and getting into the contact, which I think sometimes they think maybe a little bit too much, but by the end of it, they're running with a ball in the hand and hitting that contact.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at this weekend's matches. Go Cheddar. Is that a call out for you there?
Yeah, that would be for me.
Thanks, Tegan. All right, let's take a look at this weekend's games, Cheddar. All right, we'll reflect on these ones. The Baywide Premier Men's, Tapuki Pirates, they're taking on Whakarewarewa. This is my game of the week. It's at Murray Salt Stadium. 2 sides that are in red hot form. This one's going to be hard to pick. It's Fletcher Carpenter up against Ruben Viper. It's, both teams have top players right across the board. It's going to be a hard one to pick. While I process, I'll put this on you, Jess. Who are you going to pick in that? Oh, yeah. Something's happened there. Who are you going to pick on this one? Te Puke at home against Whakarewarewa.
I'm going to have to back Te Puke purely because Tegan's watching and her brother's a key part of the Te Puke team. So backing Te Puke on this one.
All right, you heard that one. Cheddar's gone with Te Puke. I'm going to go on the other side of the fence and bet with the Rotorua club Whakarewarewa. 1-for-1 here. All right, the next match here is the Battle of the City. It is at Tauranga Domain at the Boneyard. The Raptors taking on the Gurnites, or the Knights as they're now called. Both teams sitting in the middle of the table. Both teams looking for a win. Greta Maris got home after a good second half against Tauranga in this one. Jess, how do you see this one going?
I'm going to go the way of the home team, Tauranga Sports.
You're going to go with the Raptors. They're going to rip some bones out of the Knights. Here we go. We're going to go 2 against 2. I'm going to go Greta Maris. I think Junior Mototia, his boot's going to be influential in this one, as you know, as a 10. And he's going to kick his Gretchen side home in this one. But it won't be by much. I think Gretchen by 6 in this one. Over the road to your club there. Do you have a special name for your ground? I know it's Gordon Tipchins. Does it have any nicknames?
Can't say that I know of any.
We'll just stick with Gordon Tipchins field. The Mount Marlins, they're taking on Salute Tapuna. The soldiers are going to be marching down towards the Mount tomorrow. Tapuna, they're running hot and cold. The Mount just seem to be finding their form at the right time of the season. Jess, how do you see this one?
Oh, got to back the Mount, haven't I? Don't really have a choice in that one.
They might strip you of your green and gold colours if you don't. I'm going to go the way of Tapuna. Again, I just think that they have got some experience across the board. But saying that, the Mount are finding form at the right time of the season, so it's not going to be an easy one, but I think Tapuna might just get over the line this one. Let's go 5 points there for me, for Tapuna. And Rangatawa have the bye. In the development, Tauranga taking on Greta Maris, Te Puke taking on Whakarewarewa, and the Mount playing the curtain raiser there against Tapuna, and Rangatawa having the bye. Amon Rimini, he's back in the Tapuna Soldiers by 7. And who else have we got there? Manny Molia Sui. Can we get a hooks up for Eastern Pirates? Up the Eastern Pirates. Lee Uorata over there. So, yeah, there we go. Hooks up for Eastern Pirates and Rotorua. Where are we? Let's shovel over to the next lot of games. We're up there. Yeah, we got those. Thanks, Producer Rabs. Let's move on. Onto the Baywide Colts there. Te Teko there hosting Maris and Michaels. Papamoa hosting Gret and Maris. And Tauranga home at the Boneyard against Taupō. And Te Puke there at home against Mount Maunganui. Into the Western Bay competition here. Rangiuru, they're at home against Eastern Districts. That'll be a good game. Judea Matakana against Papamoa, another very good game. And probably the game of the week will be at the Stag Yard. It is the Katikati Stags taking on Arataki. It'll be a Marco Stag fight there. So that'll be a good game. Don't forget, that one's a 2:45 kickoff there at the Stag Yard. So get along and watch that one. Peter Hastings is on the whistle, I believe, for that one. So go well tomorrow, Pete. And hopefully you've got one of those inspiring speeches for the aftermatch. Onto the Central Bay comp there. Rotuiti, they're taking on Murupara. Eastern Pirates are up the hooks, taking on Maris and Michaels. Waikiti, they've got Kahukura and Reparoa are at home to Nongotaha. So some good feeds will be out at Reparoa tomorrow. Onto Eastern Bay, Opotiki taking on Matata. Ruatuki are home to Poroporo. Waimana home to Te Teko, and Edgecombe home to the Whiki. At Eastern Bay Premier Men's, Tāna Tour taking on Te Teko. Opotiki home to Whakatane Marist. This will be a great game, probably my game of the week over there in the east. And Ruatoki home to Poroporo, and Te Teko have the bye. All right, Jess, do you want to run us through those games for Sunday?
Yes. Waka home to Greater Marist. Arataki have got Te Puna in Arataki. And then Kahu Pirates have got Waimana at home.
Up the Pirates.
And finally, Te Puki Pirates have got Opotiki at home.
Oh, let's go up the Pirates for Te Puki as well.
And then the Premier Women, Mount Maunganui versus Rangatawa at Blake Park. Come on down to watch. Tongariro Women have
Oh, just hold you up. Come on, Cheddar. You're jumping the gun here. It's the Premier. We've got to do some picks here. Okay, so Battle of last year's final. You were part of this one. It was in the mud at Gordon Titchens. It's back there again. I'm sure that mud will not be there this weekend.
Fresh field. I am backing.
How are you girls looking?
The Mount Women.
Have you got a full squad? Full strength?
Yep. Full strength squad this week. Pretty similar to our squad last week, to be fair, but full strength, and I'm backing us to win.
Hey, I'm going to go with you. We're going to shake hands on this one and agree on this one. I'm going to go the way of the Mount. I know Grace Carl's probably sitting on another wall, shaking her head, and probably going to be banging on the window. But I'm going the way of the Marlins as well. So we're agreeing on this one. Who's next?
Yes. And then we've got Tongariro versus Nongataha in Tongariro. But I am going to go the way of Nongataha for this one. They are on great form, so...
Mate, we're shaking hands in this category here. Yeah, I'm going to go the way of Nongi too. It's a bit of a trip down to Turangi. Probably not as far as for some of the other teams, but bus trip for the Nongi girls. And I'm sure Kokakoraki will be amping up and fizzing to get some meat pies in this one. So, yeah, Nongi for me too.
Yeah, and then the final, Poro first Ruatoki at Poro, but I am going to go the way of Ruatoki for this one.
Yeah, I have to agree with this one. Poro defaulting last week doesn't tell us much, but yeah, Ruatoki, they're starting to find a little bit of form too. So it's the green and blacks of Ruatoki for me in this one as well. Hey, Jess, that's 3 from 3 for us here. Well done, mate.
Nice.
Hopefully these teams come through.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at some refereeing. We've got a big call out for referees right across the age groups, especially in junior rugby. So if you check the Facebook page, there is a message out there running a junior associate referees course. So really get in, make sure you can get into these courses because they're really struggling for refs, especially at secondary schools and also in the older age groups for junior rugby. So, let's really get out there. Kia ora, Marty there. We called that one, Marty. Waka versus Te Puki, game of the week. Up the red and blacks. Get to these referee courses. They're really important. I've taken on refereeing this year a bit more seriously than I have in other years. I'm really enjoying it. It's getting me out in the middle. It's getting me thinking more. And it also makes you have an appreciation for the laws of the game. When you're a player, as you probably know, Jess, you think you know the laws. But, once you have a good read of that law book, you have an appreciation for the game and a better understanding for it. So if you really want to get back out into the middle, put the rugby boots back on, you get looked after, you get all the kit. A big kia ora there, Scott Jonesy. Another referee there. You get out there. We really need referees. There's too many sideline referees as well. who think they know the rules. Small things like making sure you tap the ball properly on a quick tap penalty. Too many people put their boot down on top of it or don't tap it properly, leave their hands on the ball. I copped abuse the other week for that very thing, that someone didn't tap it properly, and some sideline person had a crack at me for blowing the whistle and scrummaging. But that's in the law. We follow the law as the referees, and we'd love to see more people out there blowing the whistle. Some referees are out there doing 2 games in a weekend, so let's get more referees out there. Like my mate Koti Tiki Whitaker, good to see that fella coming from a player to a coach, and now he's out reffing in the middle too. So well done, Koti, and everyone else out there trying their best and making sure that we're getting games. Jess, how are you going? Have you done any reffing courses?
No, not quite. Haven't quite ventured into that world yet.
Cool. Well, yeah, you got plenty of youth on your side, so you're better off stucking that 10 on and keep kicking those goals. Hey, Jess, that's all we've got time for today. I know you've got a busy schedule this afternoon out visiting Gate Pass School, so we're going to let you go. A big shout out to AR Plus for looking after the show, to Mount Maunganui Foursquare for looking after the secondary schools, and all our other sponsors that are coming across the bottom of the screen there. Jess, thank you very much. Hopefully we can get you back on the show, and this is a regular for you now that you're on our staff. A bit more full time. You've done an amazing job, and good luck with your new role.
Thank you.
We'll give you the last word before we close shop.
Thanks for having me. That's pretty much it.
You're very welcome. Hey, everyone, get out there, support your local teams. Don't forget there's some games this afternoon in the Mount Maunganui Foursquare secondary school games. But get out there, support your clubs on Saturday. Don't forget the women are playing on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Check all the draws on the Facebook page and on the website. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. Stay safe out there on the roads. Don't drink and drive. And noho ora mai.